afternoon, ladies and gents. Happy Sunday. Today, going to be going over the Momo Hammer setup alongside the Momo Shooter setup, which is just the opposite. To get it out the way, as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is only to be used for educational purposes. This is not financial advice. Trading does have its risks, so please do your research before you engage in trading. With that out the way, so the Momo Hammer setup, it simply just stands for momentum hammer. It's a setup in the Strat, or using the Strat strategy. I'm sure it's in other strategies as well, but in the Strat terms, we just call it Momo Hammer or Momo Shooter setup, which I'll show you guys after. But essentially, for the Momo Hammer setup, what we're going to be looking for is a big move up in the case of the bullish version. And then we're going to look for a hammer that prints in the direction of the trend. So clearly, we're bullish. At least short term, we're bullish anyway. So once you get this big move up, and then you get an inside hammer or a two-up hammer, either one is fine. As soon as the next candle breaks this high, I will go long. To me, this is probably, well, not probably, this is one of my A+ setups. I would say it wins anywhere between 80 to 90% of the time. Of course, it does fail, so don't YOLO into the position. But yeah, high probability setup. The last one I took was on Nvidia, all the way back here on April, early April anyway, and we can see it here. We get a big move up. We get a hammer print. It could be inside or it could be a two-up candle. Either one, as long as it's a hammer. It could be a doji as well. Just the hammer versions have the highest probability in my experience, because the doji could just be like, evening star pattern. But anyway, we get the big push up, inside hammer or two-up hammer, and then we get another big move up. So on Monday, that's what I'm anticipating for Nvidia. We get the big candle, inside hammer, and then another big move up. But again, it can fail. We have to see what the market presents. Now, let me show you another example here. So this was another big one, hammer, two-up hammer. It was a failed two-up with a red, but it triggered anyway. And in this move here, if you wouldn't want long, as soon as it broke this candle high, gave about almost 20, basically 20 points. That's a pretty good win in my opinion, if I would say so. The one that happened in the beginning of April, this one gave, well, basically all day it just kept on going up, so that was about 35 points. Granted, I would probably been out by then. But yeah, that's pretty much the Momo Hammer setup. Pretty straightforward. Generally, I like to look for it on the weekly, daily, 4-hour, even the 1 hour, sometimes the 15-minute. Generally, the 4-hour and the 1 hour, but it can be found on any time frame. I just find that the higher the time frame it is, the higher probability it is. So keep an eye out for that. Now for the Momo Shooter setup, exact same thing, just in reverse. And I'll just go to the 1 hour to show you guys here. Let's see, I believe it was in the one, yeah, right here. So we have the big red candle, an inside shooter, a reverse hammer, and then a big drop. So if you took this off the 1 hour, would have entered in right here. That was basically a $21 candle in an hour. My stop loss, you can either put your stop loss above the trigger candle, which will be right here, or the setup candle, which will be right here. Usually for this setup, I have my stop loss set above the setup candle because it usually gives a lot in return. I do if the stop loss is too wide, like in Nvidia's case, this would be basically 12 points, I would reduce my position size since I'm incurring more risk on the trade. But yeah, that's pretty much the Momo Hammer and the Momo Shooter. We even have like a little baby version right here. So we have the big move up, inside hammer, and then another big move up. But yeah, hope this was helpful. Any questions? Need me to clear anything up, put it in the comments below and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys on the next one.